Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I basically do a lot of teaching. I put a lot of music out on here and backing tracks and things like that, but I do a lot of teaching, trying to help anyone who wants to play guitar, really. I get asked quite a lot, like, how do I learn theory? How do I break into theory? How do I use theory? How do I apply theory, right? Now, there's a certain way that we can start to break into using theory. Essentially what we want to understand is we want to be able to speak a certain lingo or a certain language in which we can use to communicate with other musicians, and also communicate from our mind and our heart and our soul and what we want to express to the fretboard or the piano or whatever instrument you want to play, if we're talking about guitar right now, right? So essentially we're looking for guidelines, right? You're just looking for guidelines to help you through, to help you understand, okay? So all we have to do to get those guidelines is just memorize those guidelines and associate those guidelines with different things on the fretboard, okay? So now my analogy for this that I tell a lot of my students, and this isn't just, you know, about theory, this is pretty much about anything. Like, if you have a guitar teacher, or you're one of my students, or you're watching YouTube videos, or you're learning from an online course or a video pack, or whatever you're learning from, if you don't fully understand anything, don't worry for now, okay? And I mean for now, and what I mean by that is, well, here's my analogy. If you think of like a jigsaw puzzle, like a 500 piece or 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle or whatever, right? You have all these tiny little pieces, like you open up the box, you have all these tiny little pieces everywhere. Let's pretend that there wasn't a picture of it on the front. You just have all these tiny little pieces and you're like, well, I don't know I can't make up the picture, I don't understand right now. Well, let's just say if I'm sitting with a student and I'm talking to them about modes. I'm like, okay, this is the Ionian scale, or this is the Dorian scale. And even if they're like, well, I don't understand what that, like, I get it, it's a different name for scale, I don't understand what that means. I couldn't explain to someone what the Dorian scale is, I don't understand that. Well, for right now, just keep saying to yourself, like, play the scale, that's the Dorian scale, that's the Dorian scale, that's the Dorian scale. Even if you don't understand why it's a Dorian scale, why it has that name, or what it's made up of, or what chords it is compatible with, don't worry about that right now. Just because what's happened is me saying this is a Dorian scale and it's like this, you've been given a puzzle piece. There's a tiny piece of the puzzle there for you. And even if you don't understand the full picture yet, don't worry, because we're going to collect more and more of these puzzle pieces, okay? So if I say to you, oh, this is a B minor 7 arpeggio, you might be thinking, well, I don't understand what that is. And you know, again, advanced players here and people that understand this, you know, you don't have to watch this all the way through. I'm really sort of trying to help someone break into theory here a little bit. But because I had such a hard time with it, you know, I went to study music and I was the worst in my class. You know, my technique was okay, I could play some cool stuff, and you know, I was pretty happy with my technique, but I did not understand what was going on. I could play some shred stuff, I could play some shred songs, you know, but I didn't understand what I was doing. I knew kind of what an arpeggio was. I didn't understand how to build chords. I remember someone saying to me, oh, play me a B minor triad. I'm thinking, B minor, like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're saying, right? But what I did was I did the puzzle piece analogy, where I said, okay, well, say to my friend, hey, show me a B minor triad arpeggio or a B minor triad chord, and they go ding. And even though I didn't know how to make it or explain the theory of it, I just knew that was a B minor triad, and I'd learn to play it on the fretboard. So what I'm trying to say here is just put it on the fretboard. Don't worry about the ins and outs of it right now. Just put it on the fretboard, Google it, watch YouTube videos, learn how to do it, put it on the fretboard. And then what you're doing is you're collecting another puzzle piece. And the more puzzle pieces that you collect over time, right? So if I say to you, hey, play me a D major 7 arpeggio, you might be like, well, I don't know what that is, but if I show it to you, how to play it, right? Or I might be like, oh, it's made out of the 1, 3, 5, 7. You might be like, what? Okay. And if you're my student, I'll definitely go in depth and make sure that you understand piece by piece. But I'm just saying for the analogy. But if I show you how to play it and put it on the fretboard, and you put it on the fretboard, and you just keep saying to yourself, this is a D major 7 arpeggio, this is a D major 7 arpeggio, this is D major 7 arpeggio, over and over and over, you're collecting that puzzle piece. Okay? Collect more and more and more, and just trust in the fact that the more puzzle pieces you collect, the more little pieces of information that you collect, the more your general understanding is going to grow, piece by piece by piece, okay? And then the end game is, once you've collected enough of these little puzzle pieces, you're going to start to be able to zoom out and see the full picture of what the jigsaw puzzle picture is made out of. You might be like, oh, it's a cat, oh, it's a flower, it's a boat, or whatever, right? But until you collect enough of those pieces, it might be quite difficult, and that's why I think a lot of guitar players starting out, or guitar players in general, might be a little bit daunted, a little bit intimidated by theory. But once you collect enough of those puzzle pieces and it clicks and you get it, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? It's going to be easy for you because you would have done the hard work of collecting those pieces, right? So let's just say that you, over time, you've collected more and more pieces. You said, this is the Phrygian scale, okay? It works over a minor chord. I don't really fully understand what that means, but okay, I'm just going to keep saying it, and I'm going to set it in stone. The more of these that you collect, the more little pieces you're going to be able to understand. And when you zoom out with the big picture and there's all these puzzle pieces, eventually, if you keep working at it, it will click. Okay, and I know because this happened to me. And I was just sitting there, working and working and working at the guitar. And what it was for me, I'd had enough of these puzzle pieces laid out of, okay, well, this is a sus2 right here, or this is a major 7. I didn't fully get it, but I kept working. I'd been working on my cage system chords a whole bunch. And then I worked on my pentatonics a whole bunch, and I worked on my 3-note per string scales a whole bunch. And I was starting in G Ionian, I was going A Dorian, B Phrygian, and so on, all up with my 7 major modes. I know I talk about them all the time because in my head that's how I map out the fretboard, but anyway. And I was working up and down these scales, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and I was connecting them. And for me, it was connecting the fretboard together with these shapes, and it was almost like an otherworldly experience. It was like, in this second, it's like I got hit by a lightning bolt. It just went BAM! And it was like I had all this information just downloaded into my brain. It was like that. And from that moment on, I understood so much more than what I had done before. Everything clicked together all at once, and I would never forget it. And it was just such a incredible experience, and because it was like drilling away, and then it clicked. Another analogy is, I don't know if any of you out there are Dragon Ball Z fans. I'm a huge nerd. I remember watching that show when I was a kid, and Vegeta is on another planet and he's training, trying to be Super Saiyan, he's training, he can't do it, and then it's like BAM, and then he just goes Super Saiyan, right? It's kind of like that, but you just have to collect all of these little pieces of information until it will all click together. And that is kind of how I describe the theory process. So and you're probably thinking, okay, that's all well and good, but how do I put this into a practical application? How do I practice this? Well, a few things you're going to want to do, my advice is start with intervals, research intervals, watch lots of YouTube videos on intervals, learn how triads are built, learn how scales are built in their formulaic kind of context, okay? Learn C major chords, but in every position that you can find them in. And then, but here's the thing, really learn your note names, and you're going to start to see how the fretboard overlaps, okay? And that's going to be a huge indication and a huge key unlocking a door, a gateway for you to go through that gateway and understand how the guitar neck overlaps, and that should start to get the ball rolling. I don't want to be the guitar teacher that throws a bunch of scales at you, but I will say go and learn a bunch of scales and their names, and associate the name of the scale with a shape on the fretboard. We're not going to stick to shapes forever. The combination of that and learning your note names really, really well, I have a video on that, I'll put a link to it below. The combination of that will help you understand how to find your way around the fretboard, and then it will start to, like I said, it will just be like a lock that unlocks this gateway into starting to understand the fretboard, which in turn will help you start to understand theory, because it's inevitable that you will start to understand things like intervals and arpeggios, and then they are really the tools that you need to break you into that. Right, so if you do need any help or guidance with this, I do teach one-on-one Skype lessons. You can message me below at Jackylessons@gmail.com. I'm not going to be offering Skype lessons forever. However, right now I am teaching Wednesdays and Sundays, so if you would like some help and some guidance with this, you can shoot me an email. I hope this has all made sense. I've done my best to describe it. If not, leave me a comment. I try and get back to every comment and help you guys as much as I can. If you have enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up, hit subscribe. Also, I do have some video packs on my online store if you want to go to JackieVincentOfficial.com/shop. I have some cool video packs on there, like lethal legato, ultimate speed picking, sweep tapping mechanics, advanced tapping phrases, and extreme shred techniques. So I have a bunch of shred packs that I've been kind of releasing here and there. Also guys, I have a secret song giveaway. All you have to do is click the link below, and it will take you to subscribe to my mailing list, and once you do that, you will get a secret song that you can enjoy and check out. Alright guys, much love. I hope this has helped you. Peace out.